All right, well, welcome back. Appreciate you watching episode 6.
Episode 6, This Too Shall Cast
This
podcast.
Too Shall Cast
Good to see you, buddy.
podcast. What's up, bro? What's up?
Here we go.
Yeah.
we
Well,
go.
okay, so the set is in working order.
Absolutely.
Last episode, if you were watching on the video, we were a little discombobulated in here. I was just moving, but all good. Good
Dynamite.
to go.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? We'll look back on those ones
Yep.
when we're rich and famous.
That's right.
And go, "Geez,
Remember where
this is where we started. This is where we're at.
This too shall pass.
This too shall
shall
cast. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, today's topic is a goodie.
Oh, yeah.
It can get, I'll just say it's honesty.
Yeah.
Honesty. And we had like normal, we have a little sit down before this little recording.
Yeah.
And we were getting I'm pretty excited.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty
So,
much what happens is we sit in these seats and we say, what are we going to talk about today? So for probably not even 10 minutes
Yeah.
prior to this moment,
Yeah.
we discussed what we thought about this topic and where we thought we might like to take it. Taking a few rough notes, but largely it's something that we've both thought of a lot.
Practiced ourselves.
Practiced on ourselves and worked on levels of and our interpretation of honesty for a long time. So it's one of those topics that you just kind of set it in motion and
See where it goes.
The episode will write itself.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just to kind of give you guys a little bit of back info. Like, this is what Lenny and I do in a car ride. Okay.
Right.
And we said to each other one time, hey, why don't we? I mean, people need to hear this. Why don't we share this? I think this might help people.
Yeah.
So what you're hearing is just, I mean, it's already been going on prior to the podcast.
Chewing the fat. So,
yeah.
You know, we'll get where we're going sometime, and I'll go, man, we should have recorded that. That was some good stuff.
Like a 2-hour ride felt like half hour, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So honesty. It's a topic that comes up often in our recovery circles. You know, it's essential to the recovery process.
For sure.
It was if not one of the, well, it's an indispensable spiritual principle.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And you know what? As such, I think it's necessary to first off say that it means different things to different people. Yeah. There are differing levels of honesty with respect to you know, all the different types of honesty that we talk about fitting on a spectrum at some point. You know, we struggle, and I think at the heart of it, it is it's relative to the best of your current ability. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm as honest with myself and others today as I am capable of being in most instances. Yeah. I still struggle with certain things at certain times, but as I grow, as I learn about myself, and as I continue on this journey, I think my level of honesty with myself increases. More is revealed as time goes on, and as I grow, I think I'm more capable of being honest with both myself and others in all kinds of ways.
Well, like we say, the farthest trip is from up here to right here. Yeah, it's the longest journey there is.
From your head to your heart?
From your head to your heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for those listening, sorry, I was just pointing, but thanks, Lenny. Hard to, but yeah, that's what I've been taught is, you know, to know what true honesty is.
Correct.
Both internal, kind of a prelude to what we're going to get into, but both internal, external. You know, how much do I disclose?
Right. Right. So you know, I think it's important. You know, just kind of on a basic touch a few areas. It's important for us to be honest in our communications as possible. it's as important to be as true to ourselves and genuine in our presentation to the world. The me that I put forth to the world needs to be as genuine as I can make that be. The honesty with respect to being a responsible, productive, participatory member of society. Like, you know, I just did my taxes, so we're going to talk a little bit about that.
That takes some honesty.
That'll take some honesty.
It does.
You know, and I guess, you know, if we're capable of moving forward, we have to recognize too that it's another one of those things, for me anyways, that is, there's always room for improvement. It's a journey,
yep,
not a destination. And I don't know that any of us, and I can't speak for everybody, but I know that for sure that I'm on a journey of becoming more honest with myself and with others. And I think most people would say that they are the same.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's we practice. You know, what we say.
That's why they call it practicing honesty.
Right. It's. I mean, even lawyers and doctors, they're practicing in their field because nothing is definite. It is always brand new.
Not to isolate anybody, but did you just use lawyers and honesty in the same?
That's why they say they practice
in the same in the same sentence.
We're not doing it. We're just practicing.
For sure.
No,
I saw it funny.
Yeah.
I saw a funny ad the other day. The lawyer said, "Just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty."
Or I saw my dad always used to say, you're only guilty if you get caught.
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
And then he followed that up with, and you're gonna get caught.
And you're gonna get caught.
Every time.
Somebody gonna get hurt real bad.
Really bad.
So anyway.
So we got a couple touch points we want to do. We're gonna end on a really important topic to both Lenny and I. It's very. It goes it runs right through our whole recovery, but yeah, we're gonna touch on something we call cash register honesty. That outward honesty.
For sure. I think it's probably the outer surface of the honesty.
Okay.
Jawbreaker.
We're just scratching the surface of honesty.
The scratching the surface of honesty means that, and I can describe it for myself. It means that if it's not mine, I don't take it, or I ask before I take it. if I end up with the change from you asked me to go to the store and I have your change in my pocket. Honestly, as soon as I realize that, it's inherent and upon me to return your change. When I'm asked, did you do that thing I asked you to do for me? That on that level, the yes or no answer to that would be considered cash register honesty. So, and I think for me, it's probably out of all the ones that we're going to talk about and all the ones that I've considered, cash register honesty is the easiest for me to define and to call myself on.
Yeah, it's the most kind of like the easiest to see and practice. Measure because it's, I mean, say someone, like we were just talking about, someone pulls their phone, and I've done this a million times myself, pulls their phone out of their pocket and out falls a $20 bill. And any good addict's gonna pick up on that, right?
Sure.
But am I gonna pick it up and call it finders keepers?
Yeah.
Or am I gonna pick it up and say, excuse me, you dropped your money?
For sure.
And I think there's that kind of, and I'd be hard pressed to say that isn't an option. Those two things are an option, a viable option for anyone.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And in which wolf do you feed?
For sure.
Right?
Absolutely. I find that I sleep better. First and foremost, it was the easiest way because of the way my life has gone at certain points. This hasn't this cash register honesty hasn't always been my strong suit. It hasn't been always my first impulse. But I find that I sleep better when I have less of those things left over at the end of the day that I choose to have fall in my favor as opposed to your favor.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sitting here right now, and a prime example is I found this bracelet. I'm wearing a bracelet right now, if those of you who are listening, but I found this nice bracelet and on the street, and it's a kind of bracelet that I know somebody, if they lost it, is probably missing it. And having no real way of knowing whose it was, because there's no name engraved on it, I put it up on Facebook, on one of the local Facebook pages with a picture. And there's something distinct about the inside of it that I mentioned. I said, if you can tell me what's distinctive about the inside of it, it's all yours. And I left it up there for a few weeks while I was wearing the bracelet. But
Keeping it safe.
I was keeping it safe for them.
Yeah.
Of course. But that said, in that instance, nobody claimed the bracelet. Nobody's claimed it to this day. I never took the post down. I felt okay with that. Another example that I talked about when we come up with this topic is when you go to the store and you give the kid at the convenience store a $20 bill or $10 bill, and he gives you change for a 20. And you immediately if you realize, some people just put their money in their pocket. Generally, people, I think, realize both when they get shortchanged and when they get extra change, something's off. Now, there was a time, and I'm just kind of, claiming I'm guilty. There was a time when I would walk out of that store and go, start the car.
Score.
It was a freebie, right? Until someone pointed out to me that in situations like that, both in convenience stores and in restaurants, when servers get dine and dashed, generally that comes out of a hard-working person's pocket. It doesn't really matter whether it comes out of the store's pocket or the person's pocket.
That was my justification.
Exactly.
I mean, look at all the money they're making. They won't miss that.
But that said,
yeah.
At the end of the day, cash register honesty, as I started out saying, is that the bottom line means it's not mine. Right? And
it's as simple as that.
There is no gray area there for me, which in some other areas of honesty that we will discuss, there is a gray area.
Yeah, there's some gray areas.
There's some gray areas, but cash register honesty with respect to, I think it was George Washington. I cut down the cherry tree. His father asked him who cut down the cherry tree, and he said, I cut down the cherry tree.
Yeah.
And for fear of.
I was just gonna say.
Were you?
As soon as you said it, I'm
ding,
like,
ding, ding. We're thinking the same.
You
give that
because you fear losing something, or you fear fear itself, but the fear of judgment of others avoid.
For sure.
Fear comes in instantly.
Yep.
It's there first before, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Fear comes in so many different flavors. Fear of not having enough. Fear of fear of missing out. Fear of being judged. Fear of consequences. Fear of being, called out.
Successful.
Fear of success. Fear of failure.
Yeah. Fear of failure.
So that all of those things, I think, can reflect in a person's level of honesty, right?
And it's an opportunity.
Absolutely.
That
Absolutely.
fear that rolls in.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You can look at it, and like you said, am I able to sleep at night? What's my motive? I notice when I start trying now, cash register honesty. It's very black and white, cut and dry. It's either you do the right thing or you don't. But there is that. There is that feeling that, okay, if I tell them, I'm going to miss out on something.
Correct.
What's that? Where's that fear of missing out?
Fear of...
Or fear of being judged, or, like you said, there's all these different flavors. What is that part of Because I'll ask you the question as if we're in the car, Lenny.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I see that $20 bill on the ground, if I see that $20 bill on the ground, where does the fear come from? Is it like, have you put any thought into that? Because I have a little.
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'm gonna time travel back into
for us. I mean, this is our own opinions, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna time travel back into the past. Alex is walking in front of me, and he drops a $20 bill. Now, the old me would say, if I pick that up and put it in my pocket, and then he notices, and I'm the only guy behind him. He has pretty big mitts on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could get into some trouble.
It could get into some trouble.
Yeah.
I also fear, because this has happened to me as well. I picked up a guy's wallet one time, and it had a considerable amount of money in it, and I didn't see him drop it, but I recognized his name. Okay, and that considerable. So here I am. Unfortunately, because of the position I was in at the time, it was decision time. It was a kind of amount of money in there that might make a considerable difference in the way my day went.
Right.
at the time.
You had some plans.
Correct.
You had some plans for that money.
Correct.
In a heartbeat.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And then I thought to myself, because that pesky conscience got in my way again. What if it's his rent? What if it's his child support? What if it's money for his mother's hernia operation, or it could have been a number of things. Sure. What if his kid needs that money for a school trip? Right. Just all these crazy things that go through your head. Yeah. What if I give it back to him and he doesn't give me any as a reward?
Yeah.
It's just kind of.
And it's all happening.
Once again, this is as a result of working through this process for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm no longer the type of person who would ever consider even keeping that money, because I know the fact that the universe has got my back with respect to when I act in a way that benefits others in the way that I would like to be treated, then that the payment is far greater in the long run. I get more back than I would have gained from being dishonest.
$20,
right?
Like that 20, you're what you're giving up
at the end
for
of the
that
day.
$20,
right? I think piece by piece we can sell our souls.
Yes.
With dishonesty.
Yeah.
And it starts with cash register. It starts with being moment to moment, being the best person that we can be with respect to our and I think all of us, at least for sure myself, I know what it's like to lose stuff. I know what it's like to have my stuff taken. Yeah.
Just happened to me.
It just happened to you? Okay.
Yeah. So I left my car unlocked. It was week and a half ago. Left my car unlocked, and the only night I leave it unlocked, and then sure enough I come in the morning. So if I could write that feeling down, or if I could capture that feeling
and pull it up every time you have,
if that opportunity, not like I'm more like Lenny nowadays, but there was a time where I would look for the self gratification of an opportunity, and I would have to do work on it, and but now it's kind of just it's just what I don't do that anymore, right?
You know what
but
it is?
I do remember that being as part of my. Yeah. So when I didn't. So here's the thing: I didn't even know until I was out and about. Like I don't check to see if I was robbed as soon as I get in my car every time. Right. It was, where's my thing? Where did that go?
Well, there's a few things missing.
What? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. And then I remember my door was just a little ajar. And I went, that was weird. Maybe I didn't close it all the way last night. Yeah. That happens, whatever. Yeah. So all of that, that leading up to the point where you realize that you've been robbed. Yeah. It's, man, that's shitty. that people do that. Okay, now it's just a big inconvenience for me.
Correct.
And now I got to go see how much money they took from me.
Well, I think
and it screwed me up for like
100%,
2 weeks.
100%.
You know, everything was gone.
Yeah. So you know what I think? I think lots of times too, it's for anybody who out there who has had their car broken into, anybody who's had their home broken into, it left me personally with an incredible sense of violation. A sense of vulnerability, a sense of, you know, just, I felt, what's the best word for it? I felt betrayed, intruded upon. So that said, when you say that, that particular type of violation can happen with respect to material things. When someone practices dishonesty with you that doesn't involve material things, it's similar. It's quite similar. You feel like someone has stolen your truth, right? So it's really like stealing.
So you can't trust them with your feelings or your.
There's another one. Yeah. Having
like if you put your trust in somebody, not like give you the keys to my car and keep it under 80.
Yeah, right.
It's more like, are you going to tell me the truth when shit hits the fan?
Right.
Like, are you going to be a real one for me?
100%.
In a supportive.
You tell me something in confidence in the car in one of our car rides.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a nice juicy little tidbit that I find somebody who might be inclined to get a kick out of hearing your stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, that's stealing your trust.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like stealing your trust. It's stealing your
confidence in you.
It's stealing your respect for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's
breaking that,
taking advantage.
Yeah.
Full advantage of your respect for me.
And breaking the bond, because I'll tell you, it's almost like once that's broken, it's like I'm giving something. It's almost like an expensive piece of china. I'm just thinking about it right now. That can never go back together the original way it was constructed.
You can glue it and do a great job.
Always that, and it's more fragile now, and there's more prone to breaking. So it's like I'm giving something to somebody which is so fragile to take care of, to put in the care of, and hoping that person doesn't break it.
For sure,
you know,
which is that's probably another topic.
I know. Well, trust me.
Write that down. We'll get there.
Trust issues.
We'll get there. Trust issues.
Yeah, trust me. We'll get there.
The way. Trust me. Trust me. That's what we're gonna call that episode.
Yeah, trust me.
Trust me. We're gonna call that the episode. That said, my take on that particular metaphor is. Someone described it to me as a piece of paper, printer paper, fresh out of the package, is pristine and square and clean and perfectly flat. Yeah. So if I took that as someone's trust and I crumpled it up in a ball and then I tried to smooth it out. I can iron that, and I can press it, and I can put it underneath a book.
Take notes, kids.
I can steam it, and I can run it over with a steamroller. It's never, ever going to be the same, right? And so, when we steal someone's truth, when we steal someone's stuff, we damage that perfect record, right?
And I think this is where we're getting into kind of the next kind of layer.
Absolutely.
That we're going one ring tighter on that.
It's a good segue.
Circle.
It's a good segue. We're past the material,
right,
superficial, and moving into something that we call business.
Yeah.
Business honesty.
Yeah.
Which for both of us, Alex and I are both in business. for ourselves, and have been for several years. And
charging people for services rendered
in a service business, and in an economic transaction, there is a level of honesty which doesn't necessarily supersede cash register honesty, but there's a couple more sub clauses which definitely warrant speaking about.
It's a slightly different arena.
It's a slightly different arena, right, with respect to what I provide as a service, as a means of putting food on my table, and as a means of growing my business, and as a means of trying to price those services and goods accurately while making sufficient profit without being gross about it.
Well, I kind of, as you're saying that, I'm thinking about even someone in an interview applying for a job, selling themselves.
Selling themselves.
You know, like there's room for me to, like there's a playing field that I get to play in where I could over embellish and get myself in hot water.
Correct.
Or I could undervalue myself and not get the job. Right? And it's the same in business. So at what point, you know, what level?
There's a certain level of confidence that can cross into BS.
You start believing your own BS
at a certain point. Now, particularly for myself in the business that I run, I have come to realize that I think you come up with the point. You said contractual honesty is absolutely paramount. Do what I say I'm going to do, charge what I say I'm going to charge, and leave. Actually, the thing about it is lots of times the contract on my customer's end changes, and I have to adjust my rate based on those changes, and do my best to be able to justify them both for myself and for the client. But there's been instances where I wondered whether what I was charging amounted to gouging.
Right.
At a certain point.
Right.
Right. And I know that a lot of business people struggle with how to price their services. It's probably one of the toughest things, I think, for a lot of businesses.
Especially for addicts.
Yeah.
I know
absolutely.
For me specifically, I don't, it's, you know, a lot of, I'm included, I know a lot of addicts who suffer from low self-esteem and who don't know their value, right? And we say at the end of each meeting, work it, you're worth it. What's my worth? And then for a business owner, it's very hard. That's why, you know, I took the knowing my numbers and taking stock of the data, the real materialistic historical data is what our worth is, because it keeps me honest.
Understood.
You know,
Yeah.
and data doesn't lie, and then I can run my business and sleep well at night knowing I haven't gouged anyone, because I have to charge this.
Yes.
I have to in order to keep the lights on and make a bit of a profit. Now, the profit, you know, little margin we call, little profit margin
varies.
Now, if I charge, there is a ceiling to what you can charge here, but again, the sales guy might be able to sell them on that because he's selling, like me, the sales guy, could sell his value so well.
Correct.
That they are now convinced and they're ready to write a check. Is that dishonest? Is that manipulation? Or is that just good sales?
Well, I'll tell you, there was a time in the business, I won't mention the business that I'm in, but there was a time when I would pick up the phone and I would inform people right off the hop that out of all the people in quote unquote phone book or that they could find, I was on the upper end of the price scale. And that was because of my level of experience. You're not just paying for the job that I'm doing on that evening, you're paying for the 25 years I've put into learning how to do that job to the best of my ability and providing the best service I can for my clients. Now, some might say that doing what I do for 4 hours should be billed at this much, but once again, depending on how much expertise it took somebody to learn how to do a mosaic tile pattern on your floor, and have it blend very, very nicely into what you have going on in the hallway and the paint colors in your walls or there's an art to certain things that just takes a long time to hone, right?
For sure.
But that said, I guess how all this pertains to honesty is, business honesty is a little different, right?
Yeah, it's a different arena entirely.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and I've asked Lenny about it too, and making sure my motives are healthy. I think it's important to have people around you who can spot your bullshit a little bit too.
For sure.
And I get honest about how I'm feeling because the business is really tied into the value I have of myself. It's almost a direct reflection. Like how much the business shows its value is how I value myself.
Correct.
Right, and especially early on, like I valued myself as the guy, and I was the center of my business.
100%.
And then
that's who they're calling for. No matter no matter who shows up to do your job, what your reputation precedes you, and they called me because of my reputation. So I think that at the end of the day, that's completely up to you, right? And so people have different, and also once again, as we progress and as we move forward in our skill level and in our experience, we have we attain the right to set our own standard.
So, like when you're saying, setting your own standard, I'm just thinking about, so if they were to come back to me, and let's say there's a negotiation happening, and they base it on, well, you're too expensive, you're a thief. How do you get away with? And I take that personally. Absolutely. And I start to think, maybe I am a thief. So that honesty, that I know in my heart of hearts that I am not out to gouge anyone.
100%.
And then someone comes and challenges me and says it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm considering that I'm a thief.
100%.
I think honesty is also knowing at the core of what you're doing, what your mission is, and what you're there to do and serve.
And what you're worth.
And what you're worth and the service you provide. I think honesty bleeds into knowing that. When someone is obviously looking to save money, that's where we're at. We're butting heads on, we're trying to find a deal that works for both of us. We're both going to walk away with not exactly what we want. That's a good negotiation. So then I think the honesty is it helps me to stand next to my value and what's the word? Stand for it. Because it can't speak for itself. So I have to,
I find there's true humility in finding that balance. Also, I'll tell you what, another thing that I find has been absolutely instrumental, both in my recovery and in my business practices, is communication, open and honest communication with others, both in my industry and in other industries. I went to a trade show one time, and I listened to a guy talk about pricing your business, and I think it's probably just in my personal experience, it's been my experience that sometimes I price myself too low, right? I've been told that by my customers. I said, I've been getting prices for this service, and how come there's a certain level when you are this far below the rest of them,
This gap.
It sends up a red flag. If he's
What did he miss?
What's you know,
Or
how come he's so cheap? He can't be good if he's that cheap, right? But at the end of the day, back to what I was saying is I went to a trade seminar, and the one thing I remembered that this guy said is that in every market, to call it, someone has to be the bargain shop. Somebody has to be
like the Walmart or the
Walmart,
Amazon,
and someone
or the Temu.
and somebody has to be Reitman's. Somebody has to be, and so you find out which zone you're most comfortable in, or where you would like to head, or where you are, and price your services accordingly, and target that market. You know,
I was just when you're talking, I want to say this because I want to capture it for me later.
Yeah.
Because it was, so if I were to, whatever service if you were to give a price to them so low, where they're asking you, I think you're worth more than that.
Yeah.
And then I would say, well, what do you think something like that should cost?
Right.
And they would say, well, I don't know.
Right.
Okay, so I do. I know what I'm worth.
Let me tell you why.
And here's why, and here's the number.
Correct.
Or whatever, right?
For sure.
And I think that's really interesting because there would be a dollar amount where you would say, where someone would be, oh, there's no way that could cost that much.
Right.
I think human instinct to know that is just naturally worth more than what you're saying.
100%.
And so, we need to close that gap a little bit. And I think that's really
somewhere in between.
That's a real
somewhere in the middle. There's a line where we're both happy.
That's right. So where is the line?
Where is that line?
And I think business, the business I'm in, it has taught me so much about my value. Not only with my skills, but my time.
100%.
Right? So because time is money. They coincide with one another. So I've really, because of all the money I've lost, time I've lost over the years, the money I've lost is a visual representation of the time I've lost. So now I'm looking at it like, well, I can always make more money.
But you can't make more time.
Boom. It's the commodity. It's the most precious commodity.
It's irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable.
It's absolutely irreplaceable.
I don't know how much of it I have. I can't make more of it, and I'm spending it all the time. It's So I just it's a fixed expense. It's the price of admission, and we're all running out of it. So where am I gonna? I think this is a different podcast. I think this might be a topic. I'm very passionate about this, but
that's okay.
It's that honesty in business has helped me realize that.
For sure.
And it goes into other areas of my life.
Right. True enough.
How much time do I? You look at this. How many summers you have with your kids?
Right.
100%. You
100%.
count them. It's not many.
Not many.
Right. How many times at the cottage? Right.
Yeah. For sure. Moving forward.
Yeah, I think this is a good segue into the next one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
they seem to be going nicely.
Yeah.
The next topic is, go ahead.
Well, getting honest with others.
Getting honest with others.
Yeah.
I think for any of you,
the next circle in.
For the many of you who are fans of this podcast, thank you so much for liking, subscribing,
subscribe,
comment.
Tell your friends.
Share. Tell your friends.
Tell your mom. No, I'm just kidding.
Getting honest with others. Many of us who are in recovery do 12-step modality of recovery.
Yeah.
And
Pretty common.
Yeah. And built into that model of recovery, built into the 12 steps, is a certain period where we attempt to take stock of our
Assets.
our assets,
Yeah.
our defects, the things that we might have changed, and to get honest with others with respect to areas in which we've fallen short.
Yeah.
Right? So getting honest with others is a complex and intricate topic. Partly because, as I think you mentioned earlier, one of the first impulses for people who come out of the fog, as we do,
Yeah.
one of our first impulses is to run around and try and fix everything
Tell all.
and everyone, and
Full disclosure.
and go full disclosure with everybody who we may have hurt or been dishonest with. Not necessarily a wise choice.
No.
And I think in most cases, definitely not a wise choice.
Yeah. It's actually warned against.
Yeah.
My sponsor did it for me.
For sure.
You know.
For sure.
You're gonna wanna.
But you did it anyways.
And I did. You know. And
Yeah.
it was, and we'll expand more into it. But it was more for me than it was for them, and that's real honesty.
Yeah, correct.
But it didn't happen without me making the mistake. So, okay, fine, but it happens, and I see it happen all the time. You know, guys come and tell me, I think I have to tell them about that. And I said, no, please don't.
Yeah.
Why? You don't even know why it is, and that's so because I've practiced that honesty, I'm able to help others. Whether they do it or not, I have no control over.
No.
Right? Probably good. They have to do it. I'll be robbing them of the journey. But you know, you could hurt somebody.
I think in a lot of cases, it's a matter of timing and expression of change. Like people want to see that I've changed more than they need to hear that I've changed.
Yeah.
And I think after they have seen me changing, it might prepare them or prepare the ground becomes more fertile for them to hear that I've done wrong and that I wish to make amends to them.
It's like an empty sorry.
And
I mean, we did that a lot.
For sure.
And I meant it.
I think my one of my go-to phrases is that my I'm sorry is broken. My I'll never do it again is worn out. And if I am being honest with people for the sole purpose of unburdening my soul, like a confession is good for the soul. I think take that to a priest, and because they'll hear it anytime. But and I think certain levels of honesty can be hurtful to myself and to others. Right? We talked about that as a little bit too. And I'm not. We are. I think we should probably stop and say, by no means are we advocating remaining dishonest indefinitely.
Right.
Because that
was my first response to my sponsor when I told him.
Yeah.
Or when he told me not to.
Yeah.
And I said, well, that goes against what
you're
the
telling me to be
whole
honest.
program's about.
You're telling me to be
All of
rigorously honest.
All of a sudden, I'm this recovery scholar who knows all, right? Because maybe I had
90 days.
90 days. But yeah, I just it can be being honest with others, like Lenny said. It's a very, I mean, you got to watch. You have to consider the other person,
the feelings of others.
Yeah,
for sure. And specifically in the program that we work, it says except when to do so would injure them. Be honest or except when to do so would injure them or others, and others includes me.
Yeah.
right?
You know, because if I hurt that relationship, that in turn hurts me.
For sure.
You know?
There have been times when I was struck with an urge to run into my past and rip off an old Band-Aid from something that somebody probably had long since forgotten or had long since healed, just for the sake of making me feel better, just for the sake of absolving me of my personal pain and guilt for having done so in the first place. And I think timing again is a critical factor in that, and motivation. What are my motives for wanting to do this, and consider the results. Consider the potential results of doing so.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
So if we were to, so honest, I feel like we're dancing around the act of speaking truth, or it's just tell, like words, mouths, hot air, blowing out hot air. What could be some examples of like an honest action to show rather than tell?
For sure.
What could be a because I think they've heard enough of the bullshit.
And I think that's probably the level of honesty with respect to our actions speak so much louder than our words. I think
that's how the saying goes.
Quite literally, certain people have told me, "Show me."
Right.
Don't tell me.
Yep.
And
I'll believe it when I see it.
For sure. And an active change in our ideas and attitudes is apparent to others long before it's apparent to us. They're watching.
Well, they knew I was sick before I did.
Correct. And I think to a large degree, the actual opposite is true, in that the people who love me the most, the people who are closest to me and who have stuck by me, see a change in me that I didn't necessarily see myself, until it was pointed out by them, and also through their reactions to me.
I see it too as part of their healing, right? Like the people who love me, like in my world, that was my parents and my brother.
Amen.
Like these are the people in my life that I know in my bones they love me, right? And when I let them down for a very long time, it affected me greatly.
For sure.
Right? And when I came to them with my honesty, they were like, well, I felt I hadn't convinced them. And I would go back to my sponsor and say, well, I told him. And then he's like, well, that's why I told you not to.
Yeah.
Because we're going to show them.
Precisely.
By you coming back and by you doing these things and just for today, day after day, showing, and it took time.
I think it's
not just going to...
One of the things that helped me a lot is somebody told me that I had spent years training the people that cared the most about me to respond to me and react to me in a certain way. I had spent years building up a record of being untrustworthy, of being self-centered and selfish, and self-seeking.
In pursuit of
other things.
Your fix. Or
whatever I thought I needed at the time. So, as my sponsor says, you've been walking into the woods for 20 years and you expect to be out in 2 months. Turn around and come back the other direction.
Like it's gonna...
And you expect to be out of the woods in 2 months. And it's exactly, for me, it's the same with my relationships. Several years in to my recovery now, I still come up against instances where I think people who love me very much, through no fault of their own and only in trying to protect their sanity and their peace of mind, still react to me in a way that isn't reflective of the change that's taken place in my life. And I can't, I can't blame them.
So can I, for people listening though,
Yeah.
how does that make you feel? And tell them how.
Well, I think this whole thing for me,
Do you take offense?
for me, the whole thing is it's a humbling experience. It's about it all comes down to my level of humility. It all comes down to the fact that I have, if I've truly owned and accepted my past and the way that I've behaved, then I have to own the fact that, as I said, I have trained people how to treat me, and I've trained them how to treat me by the way I've treated them.
And this is Lenny owning it.
This is me.
Because at one point, I'm sure that was not how you felt about it.
It was all about what you did to me, right?
The finger pointing.
Yeah, it was all about how, poor me, playing the victim. And I recognize that, some of these things in time, many people will get over, and sometimes maybe they don't. And it's my expectation of the results, much like going back to people and trying to get honest with them. It's my expectation of the results of that level of honesty that when my expectations don't get met.
So what were they what were they to start with?
Exactly.
Were they set too high?
What I'm thinking is I'm going to go and come clean to this person, and they're gonna
Absolve me of all
throw their arms up
of all wrongdoing
around me, and,
yeah.
and order up a parade.
Thank you.
Parade and a chocolate cake, and you're forgiven, and mea culpa, all that stuff. They're going to be singing my praises again, but that doesn't, it's not always the case.
They might have even been waiting for you.
Yeah.
That whole time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's met with thanks for the effort, but it's too little, too late. Hit the bricks. At the end, and at that point, after I have carefully considered making such amends and done so carefully and with being mindful of the potential hurtful consequences to them, at that point, it becomes necessary for me to say, Lenny, you've done your part. You have, to the best of your ability, boom. Right?
Boom.
Yeah, here we go. Right? So.
That's a bit of a segue there.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Damn.
It seems like we're just naturally. This is how it goes on our car rides and.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Eating chicken wings.
Yeah.
we have a lot of good talks like this. This segues right into our final segment.
Yeah.
Which is to quote our
That's crazy.
dear departed Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Honesty with the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Honesty with ourselves, which is absolutely,
wow,
bar none, unequivocally, the most important level and type of honesty that we can express is honesty.
Right at the center, bro.
Right at the center of that bullseye. From the outside, as we discussed, the outer rings, moving into the inner rings, moving into the most important one in the bullseye, is telling myself the truth from the get-go.
Can you look at yourself in the eye in the mirror?
For sure. Warts and all, as I like to say.
Warts and all.
Warts and all. And for me, that for me is an essential component of what I consider to be true humility is an ability and the courage, having the ability and the courage to be honest with myself on a daily basis, and once again, as honest as possible with myself, with my today self, because as I grow and as I progress in my spiritual journey and as I progress in my intellectual, as I learn more, I'm able to do better, right? But as honest as I'm capable of being with myself today, that amounts to my level of humility, my level of serenity, my level of inner peace. Because I'm not going to be perfect, right? So
Kind of like when you just explained, when you leave, say, that interaction where you just kind of purged your your lies. It was a purge of, it was just like this kind of venom that you just kind of threw on that person. And you walk away, and I'm referring to when we do it at the quote unquote wrong time or too early. There's not a lot of evidence to back up the case.
At the expense of others.
Right. And you leave that interaction hurt, injured.
Correct.
Injure them or others. And that's, and then you go look in the mirror and now you've done it again.
Yeah.
And here I am, I'm supposed to be clean, and why isn't this? Well, I think Lenny was referring to, and that's kind of why it segued so well, is if done correctly, you can leave that interaction with your head held high.
Correct.
Because, the expectation was reasonable. Like, okay, maybe they take it, maybe they don't, but I'm working my program.
Yeah.
I've shown myself that I'm consistent and the program's working and it's possible to do these things in recovery, yada, yada, yada.
For sure.
You can walk away with your head held high because I worked my program. I wasn't purging myself of shame and guilt.
No.
Right? It wasn't an offload. It was, I've dealt with my shame, my guilt. I've worked my program. This is the stage that I'm at. Whether they take it or not, it's fine.
Right.
But I'm continuing on in my journey.
I think that's an absolute component of it for and has been for myself as well, is trying to not attach myself to intended results or responses, to do it without expectation, releasing myself from the expectation, and allowing somebody, refunding them their version of the truth. Coming clean means pulling back the veil on any deception that I thought I may have. And in lots of cases, wasn't fooling anybody anyways.
Yeah.
But
which you come to find out.
Which I come to find out later, and and that's it's just quickly. That's been my experience. I've gone back to people and went,
like,
you'd think I didn't know?
Come on.
You're
lying to yourself.
You're finally coming around and getting honest about that, are you? And so we, in some cases we both have a good laugh, but at the very heart of it, I think what the best possible result is that particular demon can't come back to hurt me again, or them. I have exposed myself and done my best, because any true apology starts with an honest admission of my part in what happened and ends with a commitment to change behavior. Right.
Bingo.
And I think it's a wonderful side effect of a true and honest apology, is the desire not to create the same conditions under which I might have to make the same apology.
So that man in the mirror that we're talking about, there was a time early on, right, when there was more active addiction than there was recovery. Right, I had more experiences to draw from active addiction than I did recovery.
Correct. Time.
Yeah, so I was I didn't really have a leg to stand on, so to speak, when I would go and attempt to be honest with others, because I didn't know what it felt like. I didn't know what it looked like. So the difference there is that when I looked in the mirror, there wasn't a lot of, so if I went to go make an apology, it was coming from somebody who didn't really even believe it themselves. Right? So I'm like, well, how do you transmit an honest apology? Like you just said, a good apology comes with backed, what was it?
A commitment to change behavior.
Commitment to change behavior. That commitment to change behavior has to already be reinforced somehow, which usually, I wouldn't say usually, but for this addict right here, that came from working a program and seeing a change over and over, and knowing that it was almost like I was building up my self-esteem, or there was that thing, that missing part that was there. Then I could get honest with somebody.
For sure. This is, basically, this is what I did. This is why I feel it was wrong. I'd like to find out how you experienced it or how you felt it was wrong. First off, what do you think I can do for you to rectify the situation, to make it right? This is what I propose. And should there be anything in the future that you think I can do to make up for how I've been dishonest with you, I'm open to that topic. But at the essence of it, what I have learned from this is that I will not willfully do that to you or anybody else again.
Moving forward.
Right? Moving forward.
Yeah.
The person, and this is, it's one thing that I the hard part is dragging myself back to the person who I was, who did some of these things, and the grace that has been given to me by people who care enough about me to put their hand on my shoulder and look me in the eye and say, the person that you are, I'm going to get emotional, the person that you are today would never do those things. The person that you are today would never do that. So for whatever reason,
You're gonna get me, man.
Yeah, man. The person that you are today.
Yeah.
And I wish that for anybody who's carrying anything, I'll tell you right now, for anybody who's carrying, we all come into this process of change with a list of things that we wish we'd never done, a list of things that we wish we'd never said. And my wish for you is that in addressing those things and through a process of self-examination and discovery and spiritual growth, it is possible to come to a place where you recognize the thing that I've just discussed, and realize is that the person that you are becoming, while you remain responsible for those actions, the person that you are becoming would never consider doing the things that the person that you were was capable of.
I think that's a great place to end it, my guy.
Boom. I'm spent.
Wow, that was good, man. That was good. Remember, I'll say it because I appreciate everyone watching, listening. We get feedback locally. We get feedback online. It's just really, it's a gratifying process. I will say,
Absolutely.
it's a labor of love.
Hey,
You're right.
if we didn't help anybody else, I know two people who were helped.
Boom. Let's go, buddy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
This too shall cast, episode 6.
Let's go. Another one in the bag.
It's a wrap.
Cut.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Take care of yourselves.
Thanks very much.
Be kind to yourselves. Love yourselves. We'll see you next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.